Hi guys, Dr. Jim Gishwin here. Uh, anyway, uh, I got to make this short. The little Shih Tzu passed a little doggy gas in here, and I'm telling you, it was horrible. Did it in the truck too earlier today. Still don't have it aired out, and I had to go to a meeting. Had to drive all the way down there, smelling that stuff. Oh, Lordy, worse than a human thing. Little doggy farts. Isn't that right, Lola? Alrighty. Yeah, she's there. She doesn't know or care what's going on. She didn't smell it. Anyway, that brings to mind, when you hear the progressives sit there and accuse the Republicans or whoever, and remember, there's progressive Republicans too. Yeah, I told my class that. I said, if you got Marxist Republicans running around out there that want to make us a socialist country, but anything they sit there and accuse you of doing, they're doing. You can just about count on it. And yeah, you know why I got rid of the beard. Fell asleep with a gumdrop or a cough drop, and my beard was glued to the pillow. Of course, I didn't throw out the pillowcase. I washed it about 3 times because it was my pillow one. Those things are expensive. Anyway, getting on to things. All right. I cannot believe all the lies they sit there and put out about Trump. Okay? Here's a man that didn't need to do this stuff. Didn't need the money. In fact, donated his entire salary while he was president to veterans' causes. For some reason, OPM told him he had to take a salary, not like Kennedy, who sat there and didn't take one at all. So he had a choice: take $1, okay, or use his salary for a charitable cause. Here's a man that really gives to charity. Here's a man that sits there and does moral intelligence. You can sit there and despise the way he talks all you want. But everyone from Queens talks like that. I've been up there. They will tell you exactly how they think. Okay? There is no filter. And that's Trump's problem. Yeah, there's no filter. Unfortunately, in Biden's case, there's nothing to filter. Okay? Their brain is broken, so there's nothing that they have to worry about filtering, except his staff runs around. The other day when this young, it couldn't have been more than 20 years old, was the one that he went up and asked, can I take questions from the crowd? And she said it out loud, and suddenly there was 3 or 4 of them out there getting rid of the press because they were afraid he'd sit there and say something. Okay? This is not the way to campaign, people. I mean, you got Trump out there telling you exactly what he thinks, and here's one president that's not a politician, and the last time he was in, did everything he promised he would do. Okay? He decreased black unemployment. He decreased Hispanic and women's unemployment and teen unemployment all across the board. And that tax cut went all the way down to the middle class. You can't sit there and make a tax cut and sit there and not make it all the way up and down. Of course, if you're making less than 12 or 24,000, you're not paying taxes anyway, so why do you care? Okay? And that's 90% of the people. Okay? Only 10% pay all the taxes. This has been proven. And it's been proven. Kennedy did a tax cut. This is called the Laffer curve. I teach it in economics. Okay? And Laffer advised Kennedy. Okay? Every time you do a tax cut, you increase revenue. People pay more into their taxes. They don't try to avoid it as much. Okay? So, this is common sense, people. Okay? Speaking of common sense, what in the world is that judge doing? Now, thank God they got a bar investigation on that woman in Georgia, and a state legislature investigation into her. and they just passed a law about getting rid of rogue DAs in Georgia. Let's hope that takes effect quickly. Okay? The judge dropped a lot of the charges. Okay? And a lot of the co-conspirators are not involved anymore. So that's falling apart. Every time people talk about the presidential documents case, they don't understand. There is a Presidential Records Act. Oh my God, my little girl did it again. And I'm in my office. You gotta make this quick. Oh God. Lola, what did you eat? I didn't feed it to you. Lord Almighty. Oh, well, that's what I'm going to have to do when I go in and vote. Right. Okay. Now, Trump did so much. You can hate his personality. Okay? But his actions speak different. He increased funding to historically black colleges, not just annually. He did it over a period of time. Okay? He put in what they call districts or development districts within poor neighborhoods to sit there and try and get development and jobs. And of course, the border. We had the most secure border under him, and yes, we were energy independent. And if you want to sit there and see deflation, sit there and see him start to pump again. Then things will come down again, because all the stuff that comes to you comes by ship, train, truck. Everything requires diesel or gas or some sort of oil fuel. Okay? We do not have solar oil tankers. We do not have solar trucks running up and down the highways. Okay? And they talk about this green stuff, and they don't realize that you've got to sit there and produce power to charge them. And we got a rickety-ass old power grid that's susceptible to terrorism, and that's been sabotaged. There was about 20, 30 cases last year of minor sabotage incidents in our power grid. And the Chinese own us, people, with this TikTok thing. Let me tell you, all they have to do is drop a couple trillion out of the 5 or 6 trillion they've loaned us in U.S. treasuries onto the world market, and our debt is all in dollars. Okay? And that's inflated dollars they're getting. So they have to arbitrage it and sit there and sell it and buy other currencies to sit there and make their money back. Okay. Do you believe we have to sit there and pay $1 trillion, almost $1 trillion in interest a year on our national debt? I'm spending all my grandkids and my kids' money. There'd be no inheritance. So, I know, why should I care about that? You know, I won't be around, but I do care. All right. But all I have to do is to get even. They're not going to let go of that that algorithm that determines what the kids can and can't see. They're not going to let go of it. They're not going to allow the sale. And they own it. So now we know they own it. And we sat there and sold our strategic oil to a company that Hunter Biden's on with China. Okay? Let's see. We stopped shipping natural gas to Western Europe, who desperately needs it. What is going on here? We are owned by China. We are owned by China. We got food companies that are specifically owned by China. China's coming in, buying up farmland and leaving it empty. What better way? And they own the media. They own Congress. Just about every congressman up there's got some sort of Chinese investment. We've had Chinese spies driving the leader of the House of Representatives around, Nancy Pelosi. We've had other things going on. We had Chinese spies working in the, what do you call it, in 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 the computer industry, in Congress. They own us. Okay? And they own a president. And it's no doubt they own him. People, all I got to do is say prayer and vote. Prayer and vote. Prayer and vote. Vote as often as you can if you're like a Democrat. We got to sit there and do some of the same things they did in 2020. The mail-outs, do early mail voting, ballot harvesting. There's nothing illegal about it in many states. So why aren't we doing it? Okay? Let's get on it, folks. Time's a wasting. Get her done. With that, I'll say God bless you and take care, and I love you, and I remain your humble servant. Take care.